Count your many blessings, see what God hath. Do, 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 do.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the King's Report. Today is Monday, January 6, 2020, 10th year of Chungi, 12th month, 12th day by the heavenly calendar. I'm your host, Sean Moon, Senki of Chaniguk. Yesterday, let's go to the Instagram page here. Two of my children, my son and my daughter, were driving to church, and they hit black ice. And by God's grace, oh my goodness, there it is. Yep, that one, right there. And by God's grace, they are alive. And they were able to walk away from that devastating accident right there on the highway on the way to church. You know, they were driving over that hill, came over that hill, and just it was black ice. So they started sliding off to the left, and you can go to the video there, and there's you can see there's mountainous rocks on the left side, which are very, very dangerous. And there's my son Shimon, who was driving, and since he had good reactions and jujitsu skills, he was able to pull the car back off the left side. Where it was going was starting to spin into the left, and he was able to turn it back and go to the right side, which was a much safer side. You can see there's a car totaled there. The right side was more grassy, although they did have some rocks. But look at the left side; it's completely all stone. It's all mountainous rock. And if he hit that car would be just shredded. But he was able to gain control of it, get to the right side on the black ice, which is not easy to do, and then and then the front of the car looks like it hit the grassy knoll and was completely shattered and totaled. They were going about 65, 70 miles an hour in the snow, black ice. That's extremely dangerous. I mean, you could easily die going 40, you know what I mean? One of Ed Hammond's son, Ryan, was going 35 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour, hit black ice. He's paralyzed from the waist down. I mean, he's getting better slowly, but he was paralyzed. He could not move his feet. So that's how dangerous it is. They were going double that speed. You know what I mean? Hit black ice on the highway, almost veered and smashed the whole car up into the left side rocky crags, you know, these bold, huge rock structures. But he was able to, by God's grace, swing it around to the right side, hit the grassy knoll, totaled the car in the front, and it looks like it hit the grassy knoll, boom, and then jumped up and then bam, hit the backside because the wheel was completely off in the backside as well. So it looked like it kind of did that. And the impact, when it came back down, boom, this way, it looks like that's when my daughter, who was sitting there, smashed her head. She would have smashed her head into the windshield, probably got cut up or hurt, at least or maybe got a concussion traveling at that speed, smashing the windshield. But she was holding her cake. And the cake hit the windshield, and then her head hit the bottom of the cake, I guess, which had a pad on it, and so whatever the case may be. But the cake exploded, and it wasn't her head that exploded. You know what I mean? Her cake exploded on the windshield, and actually cushioned her head getting hit, that's unbelievable, isn't it? Golly. And Shimon's cell phone was in the cake, so there was an impact. There was a hit, bam, and then they actually probably went up, and then bam, smashed down again, which popped the wheel off. And so his cell phone traveled from the left side to the right side windshield and was inside the cake. Oh my gosh. But it was a serious accident. And but anyways, it was a tremendous miracle that they survived that crash. And just they were able to walk away with it. They were cleared from the hospital. They were able to walk completely away, no damage. I mean, if that engine smashed through the body of the car and hit their legs would be dead. They would have no more legs. They won't be using their legs again. Right? So the fact that they got away from that kind of car wreck completely unscathed is only by the hand of God. Anything else, any minute variable that changed, they would have been dead. And I would be burying my children, you know what I mean, having sungwas for them, not seeing them, and then taking them out to have a celebration about the great gratitude of being alive after they got cleared from the hospital. So, my gosh, what a crazy day. But folks, 2020, you know, it's interesting because that was my second son. Second son, Hung Jung, was also in a car crash when providentially things were very heavy. And always, father would say that Satan tries to attack the second son. So, in this case, my son it's interesting because first thing he said was he was afraid that the car was going to spin and it was going to kill Shingu, Gungi. That's what he said. But that's exactly what Hung Jung said, right? Hung Jung also, my second brother in father's family, also was afraid that the truck that hit him was going to hit the passenger who was riding with him. So he actually veered into the truck instead of away from it. And the car was spinning this way, so he was afraid that if it kept tail spinning out, it's going to smash his sister. But Hung Jung said the same thing, and then so Shimman said the same thing. When he came out, he said, I was just worried that it was going to keep spinning and it was going to bam hit Gungi. And so he started turning into the spin, which is a proper thing to do, and then was able to straighten out. And thank God nobody was zipping down the right side. And he was able to make it to the right side and hit the grassy knoll. But it was interesting that he said the same thing. And actually, he was right about the same age. Hung Jung was, 18, 19? Shimon's 20, right? So he's right about that same age when they had that accident. I've never had an accident that bad. I've never, you know, thank God, you know, but and I don't necessarily drive slow, as people know. I'm not a slow driver. But the fact that he walked away from that is purely the hand of God. Both of them unscathed, a little shaken up, but unscathed, and he's actually in here today working. So he can be 6 feet in the damn ground today. You know what I'm saying? So, my gosh, folks, life is so fragile. Life is so, as the Bible says, life is but a vapor. So we must be grateful, thankful. We must count our blessings and know that every day that we have to live is a gift from God. And it's unfortunate, but times like this that people remember. People remember how precious life is and how important it is to utilize this life for the glory of God and for God's purposes and God's will. So there's my son. He has jiu-jitsu skills, so he pulled the car back safely. And he's actually okay. He's a little dizzy. And there's Gungi over there. And her cake, right? What happened to you? Your cake actually cushioned your head. All right, so that's kind of crazy. But it's absolutely a miracle. My gosh, look at that car, folks. That is ridiculous. That thing is totally. He pulled over. He hit ice over on that side. Look at those rocks. And he slid, but then he pulled the car back because he didn't want his sister to get injured. So he pulled the car back this way, went across the road here, and then ended up in. Thank God they hit the the mound or something. They didn't hit all rock. Look at this side compared to that side. Oh my gosh. That training helps. That training helps if you... But they're okay. We must be grateful, thankful. We must count our blessings and know that every day that we have to live is a gift from God.